animals, talking animals. It walks like an animal, talks like an animal, must be an animal. Come hear the animals, talking animals, talking animals.
Good morning. This is Talking Animals on WMNF. I'm Duncan Strauss, and my guest today is Dr. Holly Dutton, Medical Director at Tampa, and it turns out Clearwater, just late breaking news for me, VEG ER for pets. ER means what it usually means, emergency room, while VEG is an acronym that stands for Veterinarian Emergency Group, a national enterprise that specializes in providing around-the-clock emergency and critical care services for pets. VEG has numerous locations across the U.S. There are 10 outlets in Florida, offering a range of services including surgery, ultrasounds, and x-rays. Hailing from Alabama, Dr. Dutton serves as the medical director of the Tampa and Clearwater VEG locations, having developed a passion for emergency care while working in general practice setting in the Tampa Bay area. Based on the blazing temperatures that have dominated the days in Florida for many weeks now, I think it's safe to say we're squarely in summer when many veterinarians report an increase in pet ER visits. We'll discuss with Dr. Dutton some of the common ailments and issues that occasion trips to the Tampa VEG ER in the summer season and other times of the year too, while seeking a recommendation for how pet parents can take precautions to help their animals avoid these afflictions. We'll also invite Dr. Dutton to field questions from listeners who wish to call in about basic medical problems their pets are experiencing. All that and more when I speak with Dr. Holly Dutton in just a moment here on Talking Animals on WMNF. Coming up later in today's program, I'll present what I believe will be the broadcast premiere of Don't Kill Those Bears. Written by singer-songwriter Marty Fouts, the song offers Marty's clear point of view on the bear hunt proposed by the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, FWC, discussed multiple times on this show, including an extended interview last month with Katrina Shaddix, founder and leader of Bear Warriors United. The FWC meets for a final vote in August, and if approved, the bear hunt would take place in December. So it's imperative that people register their opposition as soon as possible and often. On a very related note, we'll hear Marty's song, Don't Kill Those Bears, later in today's program. Right now, though, let's talk with Dr. Holly Dutton about Tampa and Clearwater VEG ER for pets, the local emergency-oriented veterinary hospitals she oversees, part of a national operation that's distinctive in multiple ways, from physical layout to patient policies to the animals they treat. With a reminder that I invite you to join the conversation by calling 813-239-9663, emailing dj@wmnf.org, or texting 813-433. Let's welcome Dr. Holly Dutton to Talking Animals on WMNF. Good morning, Dr. Dutton.
Hi, good morning, Duncan. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for joining us in Talking Animals, and thanks for coming over in person. I don't get enough guests in person, so it's great to be face-to-face with the guests and having a nice conversation that way. So we're here primarily to discuss various facets of VEG ER for pets, and we will. But as the person running the couple locations, Tampa among them, I'd like to hear a bit about you first. So over the years, I can't begin to count the number of guests who work with animals now in some capacity, who grew up thinking, I want to be a vet, but for one reason or another, their plans change. You are a vet, of course.
Yes.
So tell me when you first became interested in becoming one.
Wow, yeah, that's a great question. For me, it started in undergrad. Believe it or not, most people grow up knowing they want to be a veterinarian, and you meet lots of kids who tell you every day that's what they want to be. I was actually going to go into human medicine, and I started working with research animals at Auburn University, and I decided that there was something very interesting and fulfilling about working with animals and actually the people who are tied to those animals. And so I started working in general practice there in undergrad. However, it didn't pay the bills, so I had to wait tables as well. And so at that moment, I fell in love with being able to help people, help pets, and switched my majors, and here we are today. That's a short version. Obviously, there's 15 years in between that happened.
No, I'm sure it takes a while to complete those things, not to mention vet school. But so when you were first working with those animals, those were having research studies conducted on them, or those animals that you first were sort of struck by, or?
So the first set of animals that I worked with were actually zebra finches, and the idea was more to work with their behaviors. So animal behavior was one of the focuses I went into, and which is in the field of zoology and evolution and ecology.
Right.
And so that
a lot of times I think people hear research on animals and start to think of something nefarious going on, but it sounds like that's not the case at all in this instance.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
So no, definitely not nefarious at all. If in fact it was to study their behavior to help learn about them, which then we can extrapolate to dogs, cats, even learning how to draw blood. It's some of those basic research functions that just help you understand how animals operate.
And what's the main thing you did learn from those finches?
That they need to drink a lot of water.
Oh, really? Don't we all?
Yeah.
Right. I could extrapolate pretty broadly.
I know. No, I was doing mostly the husbandry of them. And so I think that's something we don't think about is to get to do the fun stuff, you first need to learn the basics. And that is, how do you take care of animals? And so initially we were just learning how to feed them, give water. And then also it was learning to draw blood from them, and then those tests that would then go with the professor at that point.
Cool. Well, it sounds like it launched you in just the right direction, and here you are. So does that mean you've been a vet for most of that 15, or does that include training to become a vet? So let's put it this way. How long have you been a vet? Maybe that's a simpler question to ask. That's what I meant to ask.
Yeah, I've been practicing now for 11 years, graduated in 2014.
Cool. And what do you love most about it? What do you love most about being a vet?
The most fulfilling part of it is that it's a calling. So at the end of the day, I feel that I get to help people, help pets, especially in emergency medicine. People come in during the scariest time of their life, and it's pretty fulfilling to be able to offer a calm during that moment, connect with them, and then be a hero for them.
Well, that sounds great. That sounds super fulfilling. And I'm sure, because I've talked to a number of vets on the show over the years, there are some things that you probably don't love about the work. And what are some of those?
So, yes. The world of emergency medicine is very fast-paced. It's unpredictable. And with that, it becomes emotionally challenging at times and emotionally charged. Because one moment you may be helping a dog who just got into the trash with something toxic that we may be able to help immediately, but other times you're performing CPR on a cat in respiratory distress that you know may not necessarily end well. And so those moments of where you have to deliver that news to the pet owner that it's unlikely to end well, and even if it does, it's going to be a very long journey, that can get very emotionally taxing, and so that can be hard.
And you know, it seems like just people that are more general practitioner vets, you know, have situations not unlike what you just described. But it sounds like, I'm guessing that in the world of ER, vet medicine, that everything is kind of accelerated, like it's fast paced. So getting to those decisions, getting to the sad part of like realizing this animal is really not going to quite make it, and then having to share that with their owner. I mean, all that probably happens at a much faster cycle than general practices.
Yeah, you highlight a very important point. So in the general practice world, which I was at one point, you build relationships over time, starting from a puppy and up to end of life. And there's a lot of happy visits in between, or you get to see them grow up or add new family members or add new puppies. And through that process, you have a lot of trust that's built. In emergency medicine, you're right, it's very fast paced. So we meet someone for the first time, usually, in a very scary moment.
Yeah.
And the ability to build trust in such a high stakes moment is difficult. And so we tend to see a lot more of the emotional side of things. We don't get to have that relationship where we've poured into positively. It is actually, again, at a very scary time for them. And so we have to figure out how to build that trust in a very short amount of time, which can be challenging.
And that relationship, again, compared to sort of more of a general practice, whatever that emergency that they came in for, you obviously try to help deal with that or diagnose and treat or whatever. But then I'm guessing that you probably don't see that family or that animal again unless, God forbid, something else bad happens, right? So is it pretty much just that one instance in most cases, or?
Yeah. So as much as we love all the people and all the pets, our goal is that we can help them and that we never have to see them again.
Yeah.
Because that means that
something bad happens.
Yeah. Because when we see them, it means something bad happens. However, we know that pets have emergencies. And so we like to be a place where they had a great experience and we built that trust. And so that when they do have another emergency, we'll get to see them again. So coming back means a lot when they bring their other pet to us, because we know we built that relationship that's so hard to build in the ER. But also, some amazing times are when they come in at 3 a.m. bringing donuts to the overnight crew because they're so grateful for everything our team did.
Oh, that's nice.
Or when they come back in 2 weeks later for that suture removal from the foreign body surgery, and they come in wagging their tail and the owners are just so happy. We get to see them at that point because they could go to their general practice to have those sutures removed, but they come to us and they want to show us how well their pet's doing and thank us.
Right. And probably in some ways in that, like that example, probably just to complete the process, right? I mean, that somebody at VEG probably put those stitches in and try to help treat that animal. So it would seem natural in some ways that they would come to see you guys to have those sutures removed.
Yes.
Yeah. So overall, what drew you to emergency vet medicine? I mean, it sounds like it's obviously fast-paced, and there's a lot of stuff you've already described, but was there something that, when you talk about it being a calling, was there something that called to you about vet medicine in particular?
Yeah.
I mean, emergency medicine.
Yeah, absolutely. And in particular to VEG, ER medicine, because that's very different than your typical ER. So emergency medicine, it's fast-paced, which is exciting, thrilling. You get an adrenaline rush, but it also is, it brings out a lot of compassion. So to be calm during a storm for someone, it is, you feel like a superhero, if I'm being honest.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably at wit's end or worse, right, when they're rushing in there in the middle of the night, like something bad happened or they got hit by a car or whatever might happen.
Yes.
They're just saying, can you help us?
Yeah. And so to be able to be there when people need you the most is something that draws you to emergency medicine. There are times where, it's the unpredictability. You don't know what's going to come in. You don't know who you're going to meet. You don't know what you're going to see. You don't know how many people are going to come in at one time. And to be able to be a part of that is very fulfilling. And I feel like I keep using that word a lot, but it truly is. And to see the full circle moment is when you have helped lead a team to get to that point and have the nurses who are helping you with these pets and these owners, and you're a family at the end of the day. And one of the things about VEG in particular that drew me to ER medicine is that people get to stay with their pets. And so we've all been somewhere where you wonder what's happening in the back. And when owners they're in their scariest moment and a nurse or a doctor takes their pet away from them, they're scared, the pet's scared, and then they question what's happening. And then when you don't know what's going on, you fill in that space of what's happening. And so we allow them, and it's to be there through everything. If they want to sit on the floor with us, if they want to watch surgery, if they want to watch x-rays, we will have them hold their pets while we do an ultrasound, or even teach them how to draw blood if they wanted to. So the part that we get to be true partners with owners and pets is also something that draws you to ER medicine at VEG in particular. Yeah.
Well, I want to get into some of the additional distinctions of VEG in a sec, but let me let folks know who might have just tuned in a bit late and not know who exactly we're talking about. This is Talking Animals on WNF. I'm Duncan Strauss. If you did just tune in, my guest is Dr. Holly Dutton, Medical Director at both the Tampa and the Clearwater VEG ER for pets. This is part of a national operation that specializes in providing around-the-clock emergency and critical care services for pets. So if you'd like to ask Dr. Dutton a question about VEG ER, emergency vet care, maybe a simple question about your pet, or if you have an experience at VEG ER that you'd like to share, you can call Call 813-239-9663. Email dj@wmnf.org or text 813-433-0885. So before I get on to my other questions, let me ask, based on our conversation so far and just our chat a little bit before we went on air, to what extent are you and other VEG ER vets adrenaline junkies?
What's the scale we're judging that on?
You tell me. It's up to you how you want to answer it. I just thought I would ask.
Yeah, I think that most everyone is probably pretty high up on that scale. I don't think that you really can go into this field if you're not okay with adrenaline rushes. Yeah. What's interesting is that adrenaline actually calms you, and then when you are calm, you actually feel more chaotic. And so it is, you definitely have to love adrenaline. So I would say, I don't know, probably like a 7. In my mind, a 10 is,
okay.
In my mind, a 10 is you're scaling buildings and jumping out of airplanes.
Okay, lifting the car out of the way or whatever, that kind of thing. Yeah, I got you. Okay. All right, 7 sounds good. All right, well, we already have a call that we want to try to work in maybe right now. Then we'll get back to some of my questions. Hi, you're on Talking Animals with Dr. Dutton. Okay, something wrong with that phone connection. Please call back 813-239-9663. So, as veterinary hospitals go, it's distinctive, it seems like VEGRs. I mean, in many ways, some of those traits and qualities we've already touched on a little bit, the animals and how they're treated. But some of the distinctions are evident right off the bat. For instance, can you talk a little bit about the floor plan at VEGR, which is, unusual right from the get-go?
Yeah, absolutely. So the VEG floor plan is an open concept. So when you walk in, you're not separated by walls or barriers. You walk in and you get to see where the sauce is made, where the magic happens, behind the curtain, so to speak. And you are a part of the entire process. So you walk in, and from the moment that the receptionist sees you, you're already seeing other pets being triaged and other pets being helped, and the doctors, and you're seen right away by our team.
Well, that's great. And but that floor plan represents just one aspect of a broad philosophy that VEGR has cultivated to enhance the experience of treating an ill or injured animal for both the animal side of the equation and the human side of the equation. So can you outline some of the key tenets of the VEGR philosophy designed to, I think, kind of reduce the stress of the ER visit compared to like what a lot of people are maybe accustomed to otherwise?
Absolutely. So one of the first things that differentiates us that helps decrease the stress is one, you can call and speak to a doctor. And so it's already stressful if you're at home wondering if this amount of chocolate that my pet got into warrants packing up your kids in the middle of the night to go to an ER. You're going to be tired going to work. Like, do you need to do that? And so at VEG, you can call any of our locations and speak directly to a doctor who will triage you over the phone. That may be saying, no, you absolutely need to come in. It's worth it. For you to get out of bed, be late for work, or two, give you peace of mind and say, no, that can absolutely wait to see your veterinarian the next day, which is something else that we pride ourselves on, is that we work closely with our referring community, or our DVMs is what we call them. And we want to make sure that we can send them their cases back that they have, like, they love and adore and take care of, but at the same time be there when their doors are closed. So we see ourselves as an extension of the referring veterinarian. And so that makes us, that's part of makes VEG who we are. The other things are we sit on the floor. And so there are times where, you're separated by tables or walls or barriers. And for us, we want to sit on the floor with you and your pet where it's comfortable. And some may say, oh, that's dirty. No, it's not. We're walking there. We're walking through our house. We want to sit there with our pets and with our owners and work together eye to eye.
Get it sort of eye level.
Eye level, exactly.
Just the way that when someone comes over to the house and they're a dog person, They get right down there. They don't like say, hey, I'm talking to you from way up here 6 feet above. Right?
Yes, yeah.
Same idea, basically, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's very disarming, and it shows that we're on a team together.
Right. And it fosters a connection sort of right off the bat, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then that builds trust as well, because if you can speak eye level to one another, and that's going to disarm the human that's attached to the pet, that's like they're one in one, then the pet is going to feel calm as well. And that's the other thing that sets us apart, is that you get to stay with your pet. So we keep you and your pet together. So we're sitting on the floor with all of you. We're going through all the treatments together, the diagnostics together. And the ER is a scary place. We all know that. We've probably all had to go to an ER before, and you hear all the things and see all the things and smell all the things. But if your mom is there or your dad is there, then you feel calm. And so we know that pets feel better when their owners are with them.
Cool. All right, so we have another call or two, and but I got a text saying, what does VEG stand for, which I mentioned.
Yeah.
I explained at the top of the show, but it's an acronym for Veterinary Emergency Group.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so let's take a call here, I guess. Hi, you're on Talking Animals with Dr. Dutton.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Hey, I just wanted to say, unfortunately, my dog had to go into VEG, but fortunately, VEG was there. Everything she is saying from the concept, being with your animal, loved it, appreciate it. And I said to the vets when I left and the staff, if you ever start your own veterinary, let us know. But wonderful, wonderful, wonderful environment. So thank you.
Oh, well, thanks for sharing. That's a wonderful testimonial. Thank you so much for your call.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And I will say on that related note that people who are familiar with VEG seem to be big fans. Just getting the word out about this interview, I did just a little bit of social media posts and stuff, and which elicited some unsolicited testimonials, including Golden Ears. That's a sanctuary refuge for kind of specialized place for senior and hospice dogs. And they wrote this in response to my post. We love the VEG team. They have helped us several times with our sanctuary dogs and cats. And they are doing tough work with, again, hospice dogs and cats that are in hospice and or elderly. So I thought, well, that's a big thumbs up there. And there's some other things that came in. But let's take another call here first before we get into that. Hi, you're on Talking Animals with Dr. Dutton.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Hi. First of all, I just want to thank Dr. Dutton for all the great work that she does within the veterinary community. I know that it's not an easy job that her and her team do every single day. So my question to her would be, of the core values of VEG, which two spoke closest to her heart were the reasons why she joined VEG?
Oh, that's a great question. Thanks for calling in. So when it comes to the core values of VEG, the two things that speak the most to me, or did speak the most to me at the time when I joined, were probably openness, which you can see in our concept, but also in how we communicate with one another, and then togetherness, because that you get to keep people and their pets together, but then we also get to spend time with one another as a team to get to know each other and be there for one another through all of these moments that can get quite hectic. And so ultimately, those two spoke most to my heart, and I get to live out my own core values in life at my job as well.
Thank you for that.
Of course.
All right, thanks so much for your call. Appreciate it. Okay, so let's talk about, well, actually, first I'm just going to read an email that I just saw that said, great guest is the subject line. And let me go back to that. I was looking at someone else a second. What a fantastic plan for animal care. Sounds like it manages the stress of both animal and human. How humane, big exclamation mark. ERs of any kind are so scary, otherwise, obviously. So that's
Yeah, the response in the community has been incredible and very positive, and I'm glad people are reaching out to share that. At the end of the day, I think people are grateful to have a place to turn to in a crisis, especially where we treat one another, them, their animals, with kindness and respect. It's honestly amazing when you just have people hug you or even just say thank you. So hearing that our empathy is being received well in the community through all the calls is very touching.
How long has VEG been around?
A little over 10 years.
Okay. And there's 10, I think I mentioned earlier, locations in Florida, but a number nationally.
Ooh,
Even though it's probably hard to keep up.
It's either at 104, 105. It's definitely over,
it's over
100. Yes.
Yeah. And just over that 10 years, it started basically from scratch and it's expanded to that degree.
Yeah, it actually started with Dr. David Bessler, who is a veterinarian in the White Plains area, and he had his own location, and Dr. Bessler believed that there was a lot of things that created barriers in the ER that were unnecessary. And so, a lot of times we ask, can you come back? Well, why? The question should be, why not? Why can you not come back? Why can you not sit with your pet? And he really just started asking all those questions. And he took over an existing ER and then created a second ER and then met someone who's phenomenal named David Gladstein, who actually did a master's project in business school about veterinary medicine.
Wow.
And he slid into his DMs and was like, I love what you stand for. I love what VEG stands for. Let's meet.
Plus, my name is David also, which is important, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Sure that's how they
exactly.
bonded, right?
Yeah. And so together they thought, let's change ER medicine for the animal, for the veggie. We call our employees veggies because if you take care of your people, then you can take care of the people who come through your doors. And they absolutely wanted to scale the culture that is VEG ER, which is all the things we've been speaking about of keeping people and your pets together, the open concept, finding ways to say yes, instead of saying why, asking why not, and then go for it.
Yeah, I think so many of those things are important. And I love the idea that as part of that philosophy, the idea that the human can be with the animal throughout each step of the way, including when they're being treated, which, is so scary and awful for, again, both sides of the equation, as you've already noted. So I just think that's huge right off the bat. I mean, a lot of these things are significant, and they all add up to what the VEG experience is, of course. But I just think that one in particular makes a huge difference, I think.
Yeah, you bring up a great point, and it's that experience. And so sometimes we only think of one part of that equation for experience, but there is the patient, and then there's the customer client who's coming in with that pet, and then there's also the nurse or the doctor who's a part of that. So it's the patient, the veggie, and the customer, and all of those spikes, what we call them, help create that experience, and at the end of the day, help people and their pets when they need it most. But the other thing is that it doesn't stop there. We also, a funny story is that we actually let people spend the night. We will create VEG hotels, and so you can spend all that time together, and that helps the doctors and the nurses have real-time updates and communicate. The pet's more calm because they're able to sleep in that hospital with their owner right next to them. And then the owner feels better because they get to see everything that's happening with their pet. And sometimes it's even just seeing the other things that are going on. It puts things into perspective. They get to see the life-saving measures that our team is doing every day, aside from just helping their pet. And that doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't happen by accident.
Well, it's so, as one of our earlier emailers said, it's so humane, right? There's just the compassion that sort of propels those sort of decisions, and the impact that it has is just phenomenal.
Yeah, it's just treating people like they're people and treating animals like they're people. It's
right.
A novel concept, but
But again, just reducing the fear and the stress and the anxiety that goes with any of those kind of visits is like just so significant.
It really is. And if the less stressed you are, the more quickly you are to heal. And the part of your brain that engages, that you can have conversations and they can love their pet, or even just like to help build trust between the owner and our team.
Well, so again, this is Talking Animals on WMNF. I'm Duncan Strauss. My guest is Dr. Holly Dutton, Medical Director at Tampa and Clearwater VEG ER for Pets. And this is, again, as we're discussing here, part of a national operation, veterinary operation, with 10 locations in Florida and 100 or thereabouts nationally, specializing in providing around-the-clock emergency care for pets. You're invited to join the conversation, including your own experiences with VEG or any kind of basic questions about your pet's health for Dr. Dutton by calling 813-239-9663, emailing dj@wmnf.org, or texting 813-433-0885. So I'm going to get into a question or two in another moment, but let's read one or two more emails. This one says, Veg Clearwater loves you, Dr. Dutton. And there's several hearts after that.
Thanks. So. Love you guys too.
And good day, Duncan and Dr. Dutton. Here's my 2 cents worth. I'm a dog person. I agree my dogs freak out on an examining table. The quote-unquote on the floor is such a fantastic concept. Peace. Winter Haven. That's from Winter Haven Bruce. So thank you, Winter Haven Bruce, for those.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So,
again, I'm not exactly breaking news that it's blazing hot outside, and summer really seemed to come early this year. On this side of the state, and I live on the other side of the state, and I think it's true for both sides. So I gather that summer brings an increase in pet ER visits. How so exactly? What does summer do to sort of trigger more problems or accidents or afflictions or whatever?
Yeah, summer in Florida is no joke, right?
Yeah.
But especially for the pets. And so with summer, it brings heat and humidity, and both of those things can be dangerous. And so we see a spike in cases in the ER during summertime.
What are some common cases that are hooked to the heat and the humidity, or just the Florida summer?
So it's we see a lot of increases of cases like heat stroke, dehydration, burned paw pads. And then also dogs love to go on more adventures. Like, we want to be outside. We're on vacation more. And so they're playing fetch. And so they're more likely to go out to the beach to play fetch instead of in their backyard. And they can have water-related emergencies, unfortunately, like drownings or saltwater toxicity and injuries from boats or sharp shells at the beach. So we will also see our fair share of GI or gastrointestinal emergencies that come with all of that. You have summer barbecues. Pets are getting into
stuff
food.
they shouldn't be eating, right? Yeah. Next thing you know, you got a GI issue of some kind, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My own Golden is no stranger to the barbecue food and has actually had to have a corn cob removed from her intestines.
Well,
my poor baby.
At least you knew a good veterinarian to do so, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it happens to the best of us.
Yeah. Oh, geez. So let's maybe take another call at this moment. Hi, you're on Talking Animals with Dr. Dutton. Hello, it's you. Are you there? Okay. Well, if not, please call back. We tried to put you on the air for your question or your comment. So, so what are the main precautions? I mean, some things are just inherently due to the heat and humidity probably, but are there certain steps people can take to say, all right, I'll keep my Golden out of the barbecue by doing this, or I'll keep them more hydrated, or just other things to sort of offset the greater risk of summer?
Absolutely. So preparing for, first is just knowledge of it. Education and awareness is the first step. So just understanding that pets cannot sweat the way that we do. So when you start seeing them panting, that's actually their body's way of trying to regulate. So things you can do is limiting the time of day in which you walk your pets, particularly your dogs. First thing in the morning or late in the evening is better. And if you are going to have to walk them during the middle of the day, because puppies and dogs do need to be walked throughout the day, making sure you keep those short-leashed walks to 10 to 15 minutes so that they don't overheat. So the first thing is just limiting the exposure to the heat. The second thing is providing free access to water at all times. We don't want to limit their water, especially if they're outdoors, and we want it to be fresh water.
And what do you think about those like paw covers or boots, or I've seen them called different things because I guess they are different things, but what do you think about those?
Yeah, I think that those are great tools if your dog will let you put them on.
That seems like the challenge. Like, I'm not having any part of this. Yeah, even though it would help me, I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm always amazed at the dogs I see that wear those. They can become too tight, so you have to be careful with that. The other thing is they can become a foreign body. So some dogs will chew those right off and eat them, and then they can get stuck.
Oh, back to VEG.
Exactly.
Right, I got you. Let's take another call. Hi, you're on Talking Animals with Dr. Dutton.
Hi, I'm Mary from Memphis. What a wonderful thing you are doing with the veg. I was just curious. Our 11-year-old Pit has a kidney problem. She bleeds and it pees blood, and we're poor. We can't get her into anywhere. Where do y'all compare in price? Hello? Hi.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. I can hear myself talking on the radio.
Now I can hear you. Duncan got me all fixed up. How are you?
I'm good, but like I was saying, my sister's 11-year-old Pit, 105 pounds, has a kidney problem. She bleeds blood, and we're poor. We just can't afford to take her anywhere. Where do y'all compare in price?
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that about your sister's dog. The easiest thing to do is actually come in and let us see how we're able to help you. We would want to assess your pet first, and we would never want cost to be the reason that you don't come in. So we can at least offer an exam and go over everything you've done and see what we can do for your baby's quality of life, your quality of life. There's some things we unfortunately can't fix, but we would never let a pet suffer. So if there's something we can do to alleviate pain, we would certainly help with that.
Oh, God bless you. Do you have to make appointments or just come on in?
Nope, you can just come right in or give a call and let us know you're coming, and we will see you right away.
Okay, my sister has doctor's appointments tomorrow and the next day. So,
well, the great thing about VEGR that I kind of learned over this time is that there's always a doctor on duty, middle of the night, right now, anytime in between. So anytime you can actually call over there or go over there, they could probably accommodate you.
All righty.
Okay.
Again, God bless you guys. Thank you for the show, Duncan.
Thank you for your call. Appreciate it. Good luck.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, sorry about the headphone issue. I guess we're better now.
Yes,
okay,
that's no worries.
Swapped something out there. So here's a question that came in earlier that it was sort of truncated, but I want to get back to it because I'm sure it's probably interesting to talk about. It says, can you mention VEG's volunteer? And then it was cut off there, but volunteer something. Does that ring a bell or no? I
imagine it could be a pre-vet student who wants to come and volunteer.
Okay. We'll just have to guess. Because, again, the whole thing, unless somebody wants to write back and elaborate on their volunteer question, I'm not quite sure what it's asking. But let's say it is somebody who wants to volunteer at VEG. How does that work?
So I would have them reach out to us locally or wherever local VEG you are hoping to volunteer at. Each location has different guidelines, if you will, just based on local labor laws. So we are happy to show you around, work with you. If you want to do an externship, then we have a robust externship where you can apply to that through our website and go that route. But if you just want to come and volunteer for the day, then reach out to your local VEG and they can set that up for you, depending on each place.
The website's very good and very thorough, and so you can just really search for VEG-ER and then put in like Tampa or Clearwater or whatever, and then you could probably find some are different from location to location in terms of what they offer or what can happen there, aren't they?
Yeah, in terms of the scope of services for emergency medicine, it's all the same, and we operate the same. In terms of the volunteer and like the capacity to which we can host that would differ.
Okay, hopefully that answered that question. If not, like I say, write back and give us more information about what your initial question was about. So this says, with the discussion of heat strokes and exhaustion during the summer, what about with the wildlife uptick, such as snake encounters?
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely see a lot more snake bites in the ER during summertime. And so they usually come from rattlesnakes or cottonmouths. And so it's really important, one, that if you are worried that your pet has been bitten by a snake, that if you could possibly identify the snake, because rattlesnake bites, we need to see those immediately, and we can start treatment for those. Cottonmouth.
Because the venom's different, and the treatment, I guess, therefore would be different, correct? Or?
Yes. The treatment for a cottonmouth versus a rattlesnake are very different, and they create different clinical signs that you would see. Cottonmouths, unfortunately, create respiratory issues and need to get to a place with a ventilator as soon as possible. And so sometimes that's actually going up to UF. But when it comes to rattlesnakes, we certainly can help with those. And then sometimes the snake's not even venomous. So if you are able to identify the snake, you can call ahead, send us a picture. We can't always diagnose what kind of snake it is or identify the snake, but we can at least try to help, but just come in right away. So it's important that you avoid tall, grassy, bushy areas and don't let your dogs chase or corner wildlife, because anywhere there's wildlife that there's tall bushes, there's also snakes. We're in Florida; they're everywhere.
Right.
I'll find one in my pool every now and then.
Yeah, you don't want to corner a snake. If there's one thing we've learned here today.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, I think we've learned a lot of things, but that's one of the things we've learned. Yeah.
Well, and that's what will happen is if a dog or a cat corners a snake, they're usually cornering them with their face, and the snake will strike
Super
at their
vulnerable.
face.
Yeah.
And so if you ever see your pet running or crying and a large swelling on their face immediately, that's a sign to get to the ER immediately.
Yeah. And in a weird way, the venom conversation reminded me of something I was going to ask you about if we had time, and I think we do. Because sadly, we are kind of nearing the end of our time together, Dr. Dutton, but I have a few more questions. But one of them was I was intrigued by the VEG blood bank. Mm-hmm. So can you describe the blood bank and the specifics of the need for it and how dogs or humans with dogs can donate to it?
Absolutely. So blood is life-saving. We see it in humans all the time, the blood drives. You have people lining up to give blood. Unfortunately, it's not as readily available for our dogs and cats. And so at VEG, we have a blood bank program that here in Tampa, specifically at our Tampa location, we've started a donor program, and we can screen your pet. It's volunteer basis. So we screen your pet, one, to make sure they're healthy. They have no diseases that would render them not able to donate blood. And then 3, that they are comfortable and that you're comfortable doing that. So we can set that up if you're interested in it. You can reach out to me at email at hollydutton@veg.com, and I can help anyone who's interested in becoming a part of that. But ultimately, there's national shortages on blood products all the time. They're expensive, they are hard to come by, and when you need it, you need it. And so the good news is that sometimes we don't necessarily have the blood products that we always need, but having a donor program, especially our veggies, will be a part of that program. If we need a live donor for life-saving measures, sometimes we can actually help with that.
That sounds great. What a great program. Yeah. Again, this is Talking Animals on WNF. I'm Duncan Strauss. We're in our last moments speaking with Dr. Holly Dutton, Medical Director of both Tampa and Clearwater locations of VEG for pets. And if you'd like to, they specialize, of course, as we're hearing, in providing around-the-clock emergency care for pets. So if you want to get in a last question or comment about VEG or about your own pet or about an experience of VEG or anything else, you can call 813-239-9663, email dj@wmnf.org, or text 813-433-0885. So we do have a follow-up on the volunteer question. VEG Volunteer works with local shelters. It says, I believe they help with pet pal animal shelter fundraisers. Appreciate their help in the community. So that was more
awesome.
Follow-up. So that's cool. So also, we've talked about a number of the ways that VEGR is distinctive. One of the another ways that I sort of found and sort of looking around was the array of animals that VEGR is willing or able or equipped, I guess, to treat, including some less expected ones, such like hedgehogs, sugar gliders, iguanas, etc. So have you ever treated a hedgehog, Dr. Dutton?
I personally have not, but I have watched my team treat
Oh, really?
hedgehogs. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So it's not, was there just one, or has there been more than one hedgehog? I'm just curious. I was sort of fixated on the hedgehog for some reason, but
Yeah, there's definitely been more than one hedgehog. The truth is that we say if it can fit through the door, we'll see it within reason. But it's important to note that we're not exotic specialists. We do have access to exotic specialists that we can collaborate with. You're only as smart as the people in the room, and at VEG we get to collaborate across the nation with each other. We're open 24/7, so there's always someone to call to help us too. So we definitely can help with some of the exotic species, and people with hedgehogs love their hedgehogs. So we want to be there for them when we can.
sure. You're in good hands if you have a hedgehog. I think that's our new motto, our new bumper sticker.
Yes.
Okay. Please just credit me as somewhere in the small part of the bumper sticker.
I absolutely will.
Okay, thanks. So one last kind of testimony I was circling back to, because I thought we might hear something during the show, either by email or phone. But when I mentioned about Golden Ears Sanctuary and raving about the help they've gotten from VEG, another one that I got that was from a colleague, a friend of a friend, really, sort of, and I guess VEG saved the life of a poodle of theirs. I don't think I can go into too much detail because I was hoping to hear from them, and sort of, I don't want to reveal things I probably shouldn't without their permission. But definitely, as we've heard on these phone calls and some of the stuff I got in the response to my social media posts, people really seem to be loving and responding well to VEG.
Yeah, it's amazing the impact that we can have. And the truth is I think something that all of your listeners would not predict is how much of an impact they have on us as humans. We are humans at the end of the day, even though we're there to help save pets' lives. But we take these cases home with us. We think about them days later.
You're animal people.
Yeah.
Right?
We love the follow-ups. We'll reach out if they get referred back and want to know what happened, and also to learn from the cases and see if there's something we could do better or do differently.
Great. Well, I think we are at the end of our time now, Dr. Dutton. So we've been here speaking with Dr. Holly Dutton from Tampa and Clearwater VEG for pets. You can just search VEG and find out one location that's better or closer to you. There's 10 in Florida and just 2 nearby that she oversees. So thanks so much for joining us in the studio today, Dr. Dutton. Thanks for all your great work helping sick and wounded animals of various kinds, including the hedgehogs.
Thanks for having me, Duncan.
Okay, thank you. In a moment, we'll hear the broadcast premiere of Don't Kill Those Bears, a direct take on the proposed bear hunt, written by singer-songwriter Marty Founts. Right now, we're going to step into the Comedy Corner with a piece that's not only from one of our longest-standing faves, Brian Regan, but also mostly about veterinarians. Brian Regan with a piece called Doctors and Veterinarians in today's Comedy Corner on Talking Animals on WMNF.
Doctor looked at me and said, Brian, you are way too sedentary. So I vowed in that moment to get a dictionary. But I haven't gotten around to it, just been laying around a house. Or is it lying around a house? Doctors specialize, right? Last month I went to an ear, nose, and throat doctor. Last week, I went to an arch of the foot, small of the back, nape of the neck doctor. I have fallen arches, my small's too big, and I have a trick nape. It's weird. In the human world, there's a doctor for every body part, but in the animal world, a veterinarian takes care of all animals and all their parts. It's got to be the hardest job in the world. Where are the bighorn sheep knee doctors? The wildebeest gastroenterologists. The giraffe throat, and throat doctors.
That was Brian Regan. In today's Comedy Corner with a piece called Doctors and Veterinarians, taken from his album On the Rocks. Now it's time to hear Don't Kill Those Bears, a musical editorial of sorts about the proposed bear hunt, written and recorded by singer-songwriter Marty Founts. let's hear it right now. This is Don't Kill Those Bears from Marty Fouts here on Talking Animals on WMNF.
Don't kill those bears, don't you do it. It's just your trash they're trying to get to it. You know they were here before you and me. I guess the state of Florida is only free for the two-legged types who'll just bitch and gripe about a bear getting in their trash, you see. Don't kill those bears. I'm asking, what the hell is wrong with you? Can't you see they're trying to get through their day just the same as me and you? Now we are the ones invading their home, not the other way around. But some with a gun, you know, they think it's fun chasing some poor defenseless bear around. Don't kill those bears, Mr. Governor. This is all in your hands. I'm sure folks could find another way besides killing a bear to let him feel like a man. You know, the rules have changed, let me get this straight. You want to let the hunters use dogs and bait? Oh. Well, that's pretty cold, but I'll pray for your soul, but I hope it's not too late. Don't kill those bears, don't you do it, but you'll do what you want, so screw it. Now the bears are unarmed, but you'll do them harm, so I'll sound the alarm from cities to farms. The FWC is going along, it's just like they don't even care. But I'm begging you all, don't kill those bears.
That's Marty Fouts on Talking Animals, but don't kill those bears. A clear no vote on the proposed bear hunt. If you'd like to weigh in, it's important to do so loud and clear and soon. The FWC's final vote happens in August. So my thanks to Marty for sending us that song and creating it in the first place. You can search FWC, how to express your opinion. For a time, and maybe still now, you can weigh in specifically on the bear hunt at bear comments at myfwc.com. Bear comments at myfwc.com. And hopefully that's still working. Sometimes they pull those after a certain time or after certain developments or votes or whatever. So either way you can search for it, and there's definitely ways to offer your opinion. Coming up on WNF, it's The Conversation, the great show hosted by Mario Nunez and Joe King Carter. After that, it's The Scoop, WNF's brief news recap. Then we shift back to music programming with Sam Ball. Actually, I think she might not be in today, but she was going to start her first day in her new shift today at 1 to 3, so we'll watch with bated breath to see if she's here for that. She may be gone today, but either way, next week for sure she'll be here 1 to 3 on an ongoing basis. And then she's followed by Nancy C. hosting the Wednesday Traffic Jam from 3 to 6 p.m. And then it's John DeBrule with Sound Safari, followed by Step Outside from 8 to 10, and all kinds of great stuff after that on WMNF. Also, tomorrow is Juneteenth, and WNF has put together a fantastic slate of programming all day and even into other days as well. Go to WMNF.org and you can see a big banner for Juneteenth and see the schedule, what's happening tomorrow and the other days that are also devoting their programming to Juneteenth. So that's fantastic. Meanwhile, on the show at the moment, as a prize for Name That Animal Tune, I'll be offering something fabulous from the Talking Animals Vault. To the first person who calls 813-239-9663 and correctly identifies this animal song. It's Name That Animal Tune on Talking Animals on WMNF.
And in that southern moonlight, she sang the song.
we'll take that guest off the air. We have just about reached the end of today's edition of Talking Animals on WMNF Tampa. Invite you to join us next week when our guest will be Annie Peters, the CEO of Pet Partners, a leading therapy animal organization that focuses on the human-animal bond to improve health and well-being. So join us for that. Thanks for listening today. It's Talking Animals on WMNF Tampa. Stay tuned for NPR News headlines and the conversation.